YouTube. This is just me throwing out a quick question to you guys. I wanted to know if you wanted me to combine some of my future Flower Girl characters into multiple characters per video so that I can get them out faster, or if you want a dedicated video to each of them. I will also briefly note that I will be doing sort of a final, here's what I think and what I've learned from this experience, and I will go over each of the characters individually there. So that's something to consider. But I just wanted to drop this in there as some last minute editing. Okay. Just another quick note, I will probably be releasing videos on Sundays from here on out, like this one. Just for the sake of simplicity. I'm going to be doing a lot of schooling and a lot of performance arts this semester, so I'm not going to have quite as much time as I had hoped for, which is also why the short story series is a thing. If you haven't watched that video, go watch it. It's called Saltwater Dreams. Or is it Saltwater Nightmares? Dreams? Nightmares? I actually don't remember. Anyway, I'm gonna let you guys get back to the regularly scheduled programming. Dun, da, da, da. That was really lame. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go now. Hello, YouTube. Hello. I am very tired right now, but I am just going to film a voiceover because I want to get some of my older stock footage, if you will, out on my channel finally, and that includes some of the Flower Girls. I have actually, as of like an hour and a half ago, finished the first 9 flower character drawings that was set up in the first grid, and now I just have, you know, the other 9, which will hopefully not take me as long as these ones have. So what you are watching right now is Teresa Tulip. I decided to go for orange tulips. Tulips come in a lot of different colors, so it was hard to pick just one color, but I wanted to make sure that the girls had as many different colors as possible throughout the range of them, if you will. So I wanted to include a bunch of different colors, and I noticed that so far I hadn't really dealt with a lot of orange. There's a little bit of orange in Samantha Snapdragon's design, but not a lot, so I decided I was going to go with a little bit more of a fun pop of orange. And for me, orange hair is not super outrageous. I mean, if we're being honest with ourselves, I have orange hair. I mean, it's natural ginger hair, but it's orange. So I wanted to go with a really sort of bright, intense color this time, and I wanted to go with a bit of a pose that's sort of unusual for me. So I was looking for sort of upswept hair, because when you look at tulips, they open upwards, and so I was looking for shorter, sort of upswept hair and a sort of silhouette that cast upwards in a bit of an open U shape. And when I found this, it just seemed so perfect, especially because the model has blonde hair and blue eyes, and that's something very associated with Dutch and German folk. And for those of you who don't know, tulips are kind of a big thing with Dutch people. They're kind of everywhere. And my mom is very Dutch, as in born in Holland, raised in Holland, moved to America. Then I was born. Not quite how things happened. Not at all how things happened, but that's a very basic and terrible summary. But it also kind of gave me a challenge to work with an angle that I wasn't used to working with, and I tried to give a little bit of a different face than I usually do. Part of what's so fun about this series is using different references. It really helps me kind of combat the whole same face syndrome type stuff. And I thought that this one was really fun, and I really love how the hair turned out. I just think it's so flowy and fun and just entertaining. So I like it. And I think this was sort of earlier in the process of me doing the eyebrows differently. So that's sort of where that started. I don't know if y'all have noticed, but that's how I've been doing eyebrows lately, where I sort of draw the outline and then do a few indication lines rather than like blocking them out or doing full strokes. I think it's fun. I like how it looks, but it may not stay in my style. My style changes so much and so often that we'll see what happens. So here I am pulling in this really bright orange. I think it was really fun to work with such bright colors because a lot of my characters have very natural hair. Not all of them, but most of my characters have very natural hairstyles and hair colors. And it's just very fun to kind of go out of my comfort zone and do the wild hair colors and stuff. So it was really interesting to see how because the model was blonde, to see how different she looked with this bright orange hair was really quite interesting. Now you may have noticed that I initially tried to draw a slightly open mouth. Yeah, that didn't work. It just didn't work, y'all. It didn't happen. I'm getting a little better at that now, but at the time that was still just kind of out of reach. And here, like the tulips that you see in my reference, I'm adding a little bit of red at the face, and I decided to go in and kind of block out the color so it was all the same, so that when I did the shading, I wasn't kind of confused by the color gradient. That's something I do. If I have really gradiented hair, I will take the gradient out of the equation, do the shading, and then put the gradient back in so that all of the shading is consistent throughout the hair. And then I can kind of tweak as needed when I add the gradient back in. And I think that it's a pretty effective method. I'm also doing something a little bit different with the hair shines that I think I kind of started around this time, where I add a little bit more of like a crisp line that you sometimes see in people's hair, where you see like a line where the light hits. I'm kind of trying to experiment with hair. I'm not really sure about doing hair yet. I think I love the very textured, painterly look. I'm just not very good at making it look like I want to when I'm doing it. So I'm kind of trying to find the balance with flowy, painterly hair. And so far, I don't think I'm completely satisfied, but I think I have to focus a little bit more on getting the form and shape of hair in my drawings before I work on how I want it to look texturally. That's something I'm going to be working on this year, texture. I think I may have already mentioned this, but I have a whole list of things that I want to work on, and texture is one of them. So hopefully that's something that I can do. So yes, this is Teresa. I'm really kind of happy with Teresa, also because here I did the sort of complementary color shading again, where I'm using a dark shade of blue and then kind of coming back in with some more muted browns and reds to really pull everything together. I think her shading is a little severe at this point, so I do think I kind of dial it back a little and just sort of soften her out. I'm still working on how I want to shade faces and how I want to color skin, but I think I'm getting happier with it. I think at this point I wasn't super happy with how it was looking. I was worried that this drawing wasn't going to pull together, but I kept pushing, and that was something that was really fun about starting this series, is that I wasn't freaking out so much about how everything looks. I was just sort of letting it happen and letting it come naturally, and if I didn't like it, that was okay. Like you saw with Samantha Snapdragon, and if you haven't seen that, you should. I will have the playlist for that video series at the end of this video if I remember, because sometimes I don't remember to do end cards. I don't remember to put them in, but if you remember from Samantha Snapdragon, I really didn't like that drawing all that much, and I still don't, but you know what? You know what, it was a valuable learning experience for me, and here I'm just adding in some little moles, because I thought that would be fun. Little fun fact about me, I don't know if you've ever noticed looking at my icons or my drawings of myself. I have a lot of moles just kind of spotted in random places on my face, and I just think they're really fun. There's one that I have right next to my nose that I used to hate as a little girl, and it's growing on me. I mean, literally, it grew on me, but I think I'm kind of growing to accept it and learn to like it, I guess. Like, I used to want it to be taken off my face, and then I realized that would mean, you know, cutting things off my face, and I was like, no, don't want it that bad. So I decided to have this olive color from the stem on her shirt, and because it's a turtleneck, it looks kind of like a stem on her body, which was just so appropriate to me. Like, her head is the flower and her neck is the beginning of the stem. But as you may know, if you've watched my other flower character videos, or flower girl videos, I guess you can call them, I put little versions of the flower that they represent behind them. And this one, I wanted to have a bunch of different kinds of tulips behind her, and it was really kind of frustrating because I realized a little too late that there are a lot of colors and patterns on tulips and different stages of open and closed and bloomed and not bloomed, and it was a little bit more of a process than I was intending for it to be. But I think that it turned out really nice in the end, and honestly, that's really all I have to say for this video. So I hope you have a good morning, evening, afternoon, nighttime, time of day, and I will catch you guys in the next video. If you're subscribed, which you should be, and you should also hit that notification bell while you're down there and hit the like button. If you scroll down just a little bit further, you can leave a comment, and then I will respond to you, because let's face it, I respond to all of the comments that anyone posts on my videos, because I'm a little bit of an attention seeker. Because that's why I'm on YouTube. I'm a narcissist. No, I'm really not, but we'll go with that. That's the working theory. Anyway, you guys, I think that I'm gonna leave this here, and I hope that you guys enjoy it, and I will catch you guys in the next one.